Hello, good afternoon, Rudraksh and Vanshita, it seems. So, Rudraksh, have you gone through this lesson? Please let me know. Have you gone through this lesson so far? Have you read the story so far? Have you proceeded with the story? Rudraksh, can you hear me? If you are able to hear me, please respond with a text. Uh, okay. So, okay. Hmm. Very few students there. Okay, so let's begin a little bit. Let us study, and uh, you can see here. Page 79, you can see here Evans is asking for a blanket. Would you mind if I put a blanket around me? My shoulders, sir. It's a bit parky in here, isn't it? Silence. There's one on me bunk here, sir. On my bunk actually. Okay, bunk is a sort of a bed which is attached in the prison. Be quick about it, McCleary says. At 10:51 a.m., Stevens was more than a little surprised to see a grey regulation blanket draped around Evans's shoulders, and he frowned slightly. Okay, he frowned slightly and looked at the examination more closely. But Evans, the pen still between his teeth, was staring just as vacantly as before. Evans was not able to write anything. Okay, therefore he was having a pen between his teeth and was staring blankly beneath the blanket. Should Stevens report the slight irregularity? Should Stevens report the slight irregularity? Anything at all fishy, hadn't Jackson said. He looked through the peephole once again, and even as he did so, Evans pulled the dirty blanket more closely to himself. Was he planning a sudden Batman leap to suffocate McClary in the blanket? So, there is a question whether Evans was planning to attack McClary, the invigilator, with a blanket or not, suffocate him in the blanket. Don't be daft. There was never any sun on the side of the prison. No heating either during the summer months, and it could get quite chilly in some of the cells. Stevens decided to revert to his earlier every minute observation. Stevens became a bit alert, therefore, he was doing observation, every minute observation. At 11:20 am, the receiver once more crackled across the silence of the governor's office, and McClary informed Evans that only 5 minutes remained. Okay, at 11:20, McClary informed Evans that only 5 minutes remained. The examination was almost over now, but something still gnawed away quietly in the governor's mind. He reached for the phone once more. He reached for the phone. At 11:22 am, Jackson shouted along the corridor to Stevens. At 11:22 am, Jackson shouted along the corridor to Stevens. Uh, let's see what is this shout all about. The governor wanted to speak with him. Okay, so governor wanted to speak with Stevens. Hurry man, Stevens picked up the phone apprehensively and listened to the rapidly spoken orders. Stevens himself was to accompany McClary to the main prison gates. Understood? Stevens personally was to make absolutely sure that the door was locked on Evans after McClary had left the cell. Understood? The what is the instruction all about? The Stevens personally was to make absolutely sure that the door was locked on Evans after McCreary had left the cell. Understood? So the precaution about precaution for Evans after the McClary leaves the room after invigilation, the door should be properly locked so that Evans cannot come out. Understood? At 11:25 a.m., the governor heard the final exchanges. So McClary says, "Stop writing, please." So there is a microphone in the cell, therefore governor was able to hear the final conversation between McClary and Evans after the exam got over. Okay. So good afternoon, Aman, Swapnita, Vedant, Pratik. Okay. So McClary says, "Stop writing, please." McClary, "Put your sheets in order and see they're correctly numbered." Okay. Put your sheets in order and see they're correctly numbered. Scraping of chairs and tables. Okay. Sound can be heard. "Thank you very much, sir." Evans said. McClary, "All right, was it?" Evans, "Not too bad." Uh, you know, it's all right. How was it actually? McClary is asking, "How was your test?" Evans says, "Not too bad." McClary, "Good." Mr. Stevens, very loud. He was trying to draw the attention of Mr. Stevens, saying loudly, "Good, Mr. Stevens." The governor heard the door clang for the last time. The governor heard the door clang for the last time. The examination was over. The examination was over. "How did you get on, do you think?" "How did you get on, do you think?" asked Stevens as he walked beside McClary to the main gates. "How did he get on, do you think?" asked Stevens as he walked beside McClary to the main gates. When McClary was going after the invitation, okay, Stevens was accompanying him, and Stevens was asking, "How did he get on, do you think?" Stevens is trying to take the feedback from McLeary about Evans, which I can't. I, I, I cannot think he has distinguished himself. I'm afraid. His Scots accent seemed broader than ever, and his long black overcoat, reaching almost to his knees, fostered the illusion that he had suddenly grown slimmer. Slimmer. Okay. So, dear students, there is a hint given here. There is a hint given here, which you have got to understand. See, when Stevens was interacting with McClary, McClary replied something, but from his reply, Stevens could guess something. See, his Scots accent seemed broader, like McClary's accent is not the same. I mean, is McClary's accent is not the usual McClary kind of accent. Okay, it's a different accent. His Scott accent. Okay, Scott means people belonging to Scotland are called Scott. So Scott accent. He's got Scott accent, McClary. So his Scott accent seemed broader than ever. Okay, there's a change in his accent, and his long black overcoat also fostered the illusion that he had suddenly grown slimmer. Okay, even there is a doubt in Stevens's mind. See, he's become slimmer, okay, than before, and his accent has also changed. So is it the same McClary? Is it the same McClary who was invigilating, or it's a different one? Okay, let's find out. Stevens felt pleased that the governor had asked him and not Jackson to see McClary off the premises. Stevens felt pleased that Governor had asked him, Jackson and not Jackson, to see McClary off the premises. And all in all, the morning had gone pretty well. But something stopped him from making his way directly to the canteen for a belated cup of coffee. He wanted to take just one last look at Evans. He wanted to, Stevens wanted to look just once before he leaves. Stevens wanted to have a look at Evans. It was like a program he had seen on TV about a woman who could never really convince herself that she has locked the front door when she had gone to bed. Often she had got up 12, 15, sometimes 20 times to check the balls. Okay, so the similar situation has come. The similar situation has taken place on Stevens. He just not convinced that Evans is locked inside, so he wanted to verify once again. Okay, he re-entered D wing, made his way along to Evans's cell, and opened the peephole once more. Oh no, Christ, no! There, sprawled back in Evans's chair, was a man. For a semi-second, Stevens thought it must be Evans. Okay, a grey regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders, the front of his closely cropped, irregularly tufted hair awash with fierce red blood, which had dripped already through the small black beard and was even now spreading horribly over the white clerical collar and down into the black clerical front. Stevens shouted wildly for Jackson. Stevens could say something, could see something, like unusual. He could see inside the prison. Okay, and he could find something different in McClary's accent. McClary's accent has suddenly changed, and McClary's overcoat has also become slimmer. So that is what has struck his mind, and he wanted to check once whether Evans was there inside. And when he came to the D wing and peeped through the door inside the cell, he could find something different. Okay, so he was trying to draw the attention of the governor to help him understand, okay, what is going on. Swapnita Vedant Pratik Sanuvar. Okay. Stevens shouted wildly for Jackson, and the words appeared to penetrate the curtain of blood that veiled McClary's ears, for the minister's hand felt feebly for a handkerchief from his pocket and held it to his bleeding head, the blood seeping slowly through the white linen. He gave a long, low moan and tried to speak, but his voice trailed away, and by the time Jackson had arrived and dispatched Stevens to ring the police and the ambulance, the handkerchief was a sticky, squelchy wedge of cloth. Okay, so McClary has been gagged. Okay, McClary slowly raised himself, his face twisted tightly with pain. Did not worry about the ambulance, man. I'm right. I'm all right. Okay, Dina means don't worry. So this sort of sentence, dear students, you will find, because this sort of students are the local language, local dialect, you can say, like Hindi, like like uh, your Marathi. So there are different dialects, like different places people speak in a different manner. Okay, so likewise the same language, but the language will have some differences, because the people of different places speak different sort of accents and all that. Okay, so this is what is dialects all about. So here McClary is using the dialect here. Okay, he's using the dialect. So Dina here refers to don't worry. So what has happened, dear students? Like McClary has been gagged inside the prison cell. Okay, and in the guise of McClary, somebody else was going out. Stephen Evans was going out. It seems that is why there's a change in the accent. That is why suddenly the overcoat has become slimmer than before, which has brought Stevens to inquire about Evans, whether he's locked inside. So when he peeped through the hole inside the prison cell, he could see that there's a difference That's a different scene altogether. That's a different scene altogether. So McCleary is saying, telling governor, do not worry about the ambulance. I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Get the police. I know where he means. I know where he might have escaped. Evans might have escaped. He closed his eyes, and another drip of blood splashed like a huge and raindrop on the wooden floor. His hand felt along the table, found the German question paper, and grasped it tightly in his blood-stained hand. Get the governor. I know where Evans. I know where Evans has gone. Is something what McLeary is communicating to who is that fellow? Mm, Jackson. Okay. Almost immediately, sirens were sounding. Prison officers barked orders. Puzzled prisoners pushed their way along the corridors. Doors were banged and bolted, and phones were ringing everywhere. And within a minute, McLeary, with Jackson and Stevens supporting him on either side, his face now strict and cracked with drying blood, was greeted in the prison yard by the governor, perplexed and grim. We must get you to hospital immediately. I just don't. We must get you to hospital immediately. I just don't. You've called the police? Yes, yes. They are on their way. But okay, excuse me, dear students. I'm just coming. Hello. Hello. Um, Dear students, so let me wind up here today because I've got some emergency work now. I've got to wind up now. So next Monday I shall finish this lesson. Okay. So please remember 82, page number 82 towards the end. I have finished. Page number 82 towards the end I finished. Okay, like till from here I have to start. Okay, so I am ending here, dear students. On Monday we will meet. Okay, so till that time, bye bye. Take care, and have a nice day.